It's been about a year since I published my last video about our pond, so I figured it was time to do a follow-up. Let's head outside and see how it's doing 1 year later. I've made a few changes since we visited last, but nothing too major. Planted some shrubs, did some tweaks with how the waterfall looks, and added some new plants. Unfortunately, what I thought were hardy lilies that we planted last year weren't hardy at all. None of them survived our harsh Wisconsin winter. I'm happy to report that we had no goldfish winter casualties. This year I thought it'd be fun to build a bird feeding station by the pond and set up a 24/7 live stream on YouTube. The birds really seem uh, well, there's usually plenty of birds visiting it, but you'll have to take my word for it. If you're into birds as well as ponds like me, check it out. You can find the link on my channel. You'll probably want to watch it during the day. The frogs came back with a vengeance this spring. I counted as many as 30 one day. We also have dozens of tadpoles left over from last fall. Most of the frogs have moved on as I record this in June, but the tadpoles are still hanging out and getting bigger every day. Water quality is pretty good. Early spring started out cloudy like usual, just like it did last year. It can be frustrating when you wonder how your fish fared the winter and a good 2 months goes by and you can't see a single sign of them below the surface. And then one day it's like Mother Nature flips a switch and the water clears up. It's pretty cool. So far this year, the algae hasn't gotten a foothold, and we've had a stretch of some very sunny and hot days. If the ecosystem in the pond was out of balance, most of the surface probably would have been covered with algae by now. So I'm pretty happy. Yep, I've got some pond scum on the surface, and most of the submerged rocks are covered in slime. I've got a layer of muck on the bottom. Remember, this is a natural pond that I'm going for, not a sparkly, clean swimming pool that needs to be drained and scrubbed once a year. Slime is made up of microbes and beneficial bacteria that filter the water and keep it clean. I really enjoy observing the little things like water bugs scooting across the surface and snails slowly roaming the rocks. I like to get in real close and observe the nooks and crannies, watch all the life in the environment that I started. Here's some of those tadpoles I was talking about before. They're pretty skittish. Frogs seem to enjoy those rainy days. Goldfish are the perfect pond fish, tough as nails and fun to watch. It didn't take much time at all for them to adapt to our new environment and thrive. Sure beats a little glass bowl. Our pond is one of my happy places in the world. It's one of the most fulfilling projects I've ever done.